weeks ago, Utah Governor Spencer Cox placed the head of the Utah National Guard on leave.
It caught many people by surprise, but as investigative reporter Dave Cawley tells us, it's information KSL has been digging into for about a year.
The announcement came just days after the governor and Major General Michael Turley stood together welcoming President Biden to Salt Lake City.
And in that moment, it was just an officer who serves in the National Guard of the United States to greet our commander-in-chief. It was amazing.
We can now tell you an anonymous whistleblower leveled a complaint against Turley 2 years ago.
The military has a real difficult time holding senior officers accountable.
Retired Air Force Colonel Don Christensen spent more than 30 years prosecuting misconduct in the military. He says Governor Cox should have known about the complaint early on.
He is basically the commander-in-chief of the Guard. This is his highest-ranking officer serving under him.
The complaint accused Turley of having an extramarital relationship with a subordinate soldier, something strictly forbidden by the military.
There's really no reason that I can think of as why it would take this long to do these investigations of these charges.
The governor cited an investigation by the Department of the Army Inspector General as the reason he sidelined Turley. The Army confirmed an investigation ended with a, quote, substantiated finding, but it didn't define the allegations.
Whoever brought this allegation forward has been living with this for the last 2 years.
The governor did not say when he first became aware of the allegations.
I would hope he would have been made aware of it immediately.
KSL first learned of this investigation over a year ago. We couldn't report on the allegations then because we couldn't corroborate them. It wasn't for lack of trying.
Exactly 1 year ago, we submitted this public records request, asking for any communication between the governor's office, Utah National Guard, or Department of the Army Inspector General related to allegations of sexual misconduct involving Major General Turley. The governor's office said it had no such records. Last September, KSL submitted a Freedom of Information Act request with the Army, asking for information about its investigation into Turley. The Army said it could neither confirm nor deny documents may or may not exist, but we could expect a response to our request by September 2023.
You don't have to wait for the investigation to be done to say, we're not going to keep you in that leadership position.
KSL asked the governor's office on August 17th to clarify when it first learned of the whistleblower complaint or the Army Inspector General's investigation. Our question went unanswered. We asked again on August 21st. The response? We are still getting information and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. We are still waiting.
Again, these are kind of offenses that cut his standing as the leader of the National Guard.
Turley has told KSL he denies any allegation of an improper relationship. But during the 2 years he was under investigation, Turley drew over $200,000 a year in salary.
What it says to the people of Utah and to the American taxpayers, that they were willing to continue to pay this guy a good chunk of money while they knew that there were these serious allegations out there.
Christensen says Utahns deserve transparency.
All of us as Americans should know how the military responds to these things.
But we may not get it.
We know more about NFL discipline when a player for a private team commits an offense. We will know more about the discipline they receive than what we will know when a general or admiral commits a crime.
Governor Cox appointed Brigadier General Daniel Boyack to lead the Guard after Turley announced he intends to retire. It's unclear what consequences Turley might face or whether Governor Cox is continuing to investigate. Dave Cawley, KSL 5 News.